everybody, welcome back to Rhino Off-Road. I'm here with my wife Anj in the garage, and for this weekend, instead of going out and overlanding, we're gonna catch up on some much needed maintenance with the Jeep. First off, I need to change the oil, which I try to do every 5,000 miles. Instead of myself doing it like I usually do, I thought I'd lasso my wife here and just walk her through how the process goes.
So for this project, we're gonna need 6 quarts of 5W30, a 13mm socket, a 24mm socket, some gloves, a bucket, and a funnel.
Lastly, you're gonna want a replacement oil filter. Now the model number is different depending on which brand you go with. I unfortunately forgot to buy an oil filter, so I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil, and then we'll pick one up here this afternoon. But at the very least, I'll show you how to take out the old one, and all you have to do is plop a new one right on in. All right, so let's get to work. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and take this plastic cover off of the engine. That'll allow us to get to the oil filter. Okay, and next, you're gonna take your 24mm socket and we're gonna take off the oil filter housing cap. There you go, and pull it up. So this oil filter actually clips into the bottom of the cap. Again, I'm gonna keep this one for now and replace it later when I can go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's, but basically you'll just take your new one and then press it into the bottom of this cap so it kind of tightens down as you reinsert the cap. We're gonna leave this cap out for now as it helps the oil drain out of the system. And lastly up here, we're gonna unscrew the oil, the cap, which is where we actually reinsert the new oil. And we do this before we drain the oil just to help break any kind of vacuum so that the old oil drains out. As you'll see on the cap here, if I can get that real quick, Anj, it will tell you which kind of oil goes in your Jeep, in my case 5W30, but they actually did change this in later years, so make sure that you look so that you know exactly what your Jeep takes. So now we've crawled under the Jeep, you'll see I got Anj on a creeper. This right here is your oil reservoir or sump or whatever you want to call it with a 13mm bolt. So the trick here is that you want to just use the 13mm wrench to break the housing loose. There you go. And now you just want to unscrew it slowly by hand. We're going to make sure the bucket's in place, and you want to use positive pressure against the housing. So that way, the oil will not flow until you pull your hand away. Okay, and it's probably about ready to flow. So go ahead and pull it away. And that's all there is to it. Also recommend that you run your Jeep a little bit beforehand and then let it cool down for maybe 10-15 minutes so it's not scorching hot, but it definitely flows better if it's warmer outside and the Jeep's recently ran. Now while that's draining, I personally like using a bucket. I just have a Home Depot bucket lying around. If you're a Lowe's kind of guy, you can use Lowe's bucket as well. I've used those oil catch containers that they sell at auto parts stores, but honestly, what ends up happening is you usually miss and then just make a huge freaking mess. So it's a lot easier just to let it drain into a bucket and then take a funnel or whatever to either pour that oil into the oil containers of the new oil that you just put in, or at least, yeah, put it in one of those big black containers after the fact and then bring it to be recycled at one of your auto parts stores. Oil's pretty much stopped draining out. You're gonna go ahead and hand screw that back in. Sweet, and then take our 13mm. And you're gonna switch it from untighten to tighten, there you go. And then just give it a good tug, nothing too tight. That's probably good right there. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and take a funnel and insert it right over here. Nope, over here. Perfect. Now I'll just take each of these quarts. So we're gonna use 5W30, and this is Mobil 1 full synthetic. I've pretty much been using this since I bought the Jeep. So anyways, we're gonna take each quart and go ahead and pour it in the funnel.
3 down, 3 to go.
All right, so with that done, we'll pick the funnel out. And set that aside and put the cap back on. All right, so again, normally I would definitely change out the oil filter. I'll do that this afternoon, but I just highly recommend that you buy the oil and the filter together. But in any instance, we're gonna go ahead and wipe the threads around the cap itself. And we'll go ahead and reinsert it. That'll do it. All right, and then the last thing is we're gonna put the cover back on. The easiest way to do this is just to try to center the cover on the engine and then line up the front little ball socket with this little rubber one here. So go ahead and put the cover back on. Give it a nice love tap, just like that, and she's all back on. Now the quickest way that I found to clean this up is just to get a bigger funnel. And we're gonna reuse our individual quart bottles. This is definitely easier if you bought just the big 5-quart jug, but unfortunately all they had were these individual ones. So what we'll do is take the cap off of each, stick our funnel inside, and then we can slowly pour our Home Depot bucket of old oil to fill up each of these quarts. Okay, that's probably good.
Look at that one. Let's see how much you're.
Yeah, so this is our 6-quart here, and as you can see, it's filled up just about 24 ounces, so almost all the way. Obviously, there's going to be a little oil that's left in the Jeep, but either way, I'm close enough to full on this one that I'm pretty happy that I'm not burning too much oil. Nice thing about this method is all we'll do here is wipe this all out, spray it down with a hose, and then we'll be ready to go for our next oil change. All right, and once you're done, you can basically throw all the bottles back into the box. You're able to take these to pretty much any auto parts store, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Advanced Auto Parts, and they'll actually recycle these for you for free. And that's all there is to it. That's gonna be a wrap for today's video. I know it wasn't anything super sexy going outdoors or anything like that. Those videos will be coming, but this is maintenance that we had to do. So I wanted to bring you guys along, as well as take this opportunity to teach my beautiful wife here how to do it. So maybe next time, she'll be the one changing the oil for me.
How great.
Thank you guys for coming along. Please like the video if you do. Hit the subscribe button and leave any comments or feedbacks you have in the comment section below. Thank you all again, and we'll see you on the next one.